Seeing wired earbuds of some capacity nowadays is essentially impossible. This is at least true when it comes to New York City, which is where I live. So with that said, why would you want to get yourself a pair of Bluetooth wired earbuds? Well, for one, as of nowadays, they're definitely a lot cheaper for the price tag. They're built a lot better, in my opinion, and even though they do have that wire, they also offer much better sound quality than what you would get on their truly wireless counterparts. And I'm sure that Strauss and Wagner, the folks who sent over this pair of buds, can definitely attest to that. Introducing the Strauss and Wagner SPW-301 pair. It's a crazy name, but let's dive in. The unboxing here is going to be very simple and intuitive. Just remove the plastic wrapping and cut through the tape. And then just lift up the lid to find the buds sitting in their slot. You'll also get some accessories such as the micro USB cable for charging, instructions, and a lot of replacement tips. So far, it's quite nice. And in terms of the exterior design of these buds, you've got what is, quite frankly, a really amazing build here. So the buds themselves are going to be built of this very nice metallic texture over them. They do feel like aluminum, and they do also feature this magnet to just clip back in like this, and it just keeps them more secure. And another one of those really durable components is actually going to be the wire itself, which is constructed of this rugged feeling rubber that is actually pretty thick, feels pretty good, and it does honestly feel like quality, as they say. These buds are built incredibly well, especially for the price, as these sell for around 50 bucks. Very surprised here. For gestures, you got the necessary stuff. On the wire, you'll find some physical buttons, such as volume up and down, playing and pausing music, etc. You can even trigger your assistant if you need to, and skip tracks and that sort of thing. So, quite frankly, in terms of gestures, it's fair enough, and it does offer pretty much everything I would want out of them. So kudos there. In terms of comfort, which is also another very important category, besides the build quality, this is where I started to have a little bit of issues. So this type of earbuds have never really fit me all that well personally. I've actually been pretty lucky with a lot of the more recent pairs. However, when it comes to these, even when it came to using the smallest ear tips included in the box, which were pretty small, however, were not necessarily of the smallest variety that I've seen out there, they just didn't really fit all that well, and they kind of just dangled over my ears. And sometimes after long listening sessions, like 2 hours in a row, for example, my ears will feel a little bit uncomfortable and they will start to hurt a little bit. That was just my experience, as I've actually allowed a bunch of other people to try these out, and in particular people who do prefer the style of earbuds, and they really like these. They find them more comfortable, and they actually even prefer the larger ear tips included in the box. So your experience may vary really, as they weren't exactly all that comfortable to myself. A lot of other people did really enjoy how they felt. So again, I highly suggest that you try these out if you can. However, in terms of sound quality is where these really shine. This is harkening back to my intro where I talked about how this wire does actually allow for greater power. And it's not just in terms of battery life, but also in just establishing a better connection, a better, more powerful connection between both buds that allow them to produce clearer sounds and give you a wider soundstage than what you will normally find. This is exactly when this wire comes into play here. They offer a nice amount of bass, and watching all types of content is enjoyable. Music sounds clean, even if the soundstage isn't very wide, but it is very good here. Pretty much all genres of music were enjoyable here. I like these quite a bit actually when it comes to listening to music. Battery life, again, is also going to be pretty good here. I've maybe had to charge them 3 to 4 times in the last 2 weeks or so, which is just around, let's say, 2 to 4 hours of use per day. I can't complain here, as battery life is honestly pretty solid, and again, it all harkens back to getting the extra space that they would need in order to be able to power these more properly than what you would find on truly wireless buds. I do, however, have some other comments, or at the very least a couple of improvements that I would like to see in any future iterations of these buds. So with that said, allow me to elaborate. And for one, I wish that the fit was more universal. At least that they'd include even smaller ear tips in the box, since I had some issues with the fit myself. However, it is worth noting that these drivers are also more so on the larger side, so probably making smaller ear tips if you want to keep this size drivers would be impossible, or at the very least, very difficult, so I do kind of understand why that wasn't possible. I do really enjoy how they sound after all. I also wish that these charged through USB-C instead of micro USB, since USB-C is just so much more convenient. And honestly, I really have very little to criticize here. This is a budget pair that feels like it is so much more premium than the price tag might suggest. And it is true, as build quality is fantastic. I think that they sound great, and they do offer quite a lot of gestures as well, and the connectivity when it comes to Bluetooth has also been incredibly solid. Bluetooth has really come a long way, and these buds do stay connected very easily and pretty much without any kind of issues at all. My only real issue here was just the fit for myself, but overall, I'm not complaining here. This pair is absolutely fantastic for just 50 bucks. If you're debating between getting truly wireless buds, like AirPods for example, or these, then I would absolutely, as these will give you a really good experience, in spite of the wire. Seriously, highly recommended here. And if you're interested in purchasing these buds, then I will be making sure to leave affiliate links to Amazon so that you could go ahead and check those out. Now, if you do use any of my links and make a purchase, I do get a small commission that does help me run things a little bit more smoothly around here. So if you were to use those, I would very much appreciate that. And also, if you ended up liking me enough, then I will be making sure to leave linked my Twitch, my Instagram, and my Twitter. So in case you did want to see a little bit more of me, then you can also find me on those other social media networks. And on Twitch, I like to stream Final Fantasy XIV while playing some smooth jazz. So that is something that interests you. Do make sure to jump in. I'd be happy to have you there. With that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you all later. Enjoy.